Hello, everybody, and I hope you are having a possum day. I am because I'm here with little Logan, and I'm here with our good friend Kathy Labrada from Miami-Dade County Animal Service, and she's holding Liam over there. We'll talk a little bit about these brothers a little bit later, but we're here to talk about community cats. And you may not be aware, but Miami-Dade County actually has approximately 300 to 400,000 community cats that are in our neighborhoods. You see them at restaurants when you go to eat. You see them when you're walking on South Beach. When you're walking around your neighborhood, you usually see them. So we're going to talk about the community cat population and what Miami-Dade County Animal Services is doing to help humanely manage the community cat population, also known as feral cats. A lot of people call them feral cats. But there are community cats and they live in colonies in our neighborhoods. I think we're going to start off with a short video that kind of explains a little bit about the issue and one of our main messages, which is don't kidnap the kittens. So hit it, director. Mr. Director. It's Mr. Director, right?
Indeed.
Indeed, Mr. Director.
Don't kidnap these kittens. If you find a litter of kittens, your first thought may be to bring them to your local animal shelter, but chances are their mother is close by and you may actually be kidnapping them. Last kitten season, South Florida's animal shelters received more than 6,000 newborn kittens. Once newborns are separated from their mother, their chances of survival drop dramatically. So this kitten season, don't kidnap kittens. Always watch for the mother cat for at least 24 hours. For more info, visit miamidade.gov/animals.
So pretty simple message, don't kidnap the kittens, but it's part of a larger message about the community cats. So when we say that we have 300 to 400,000 community cats, how is that estimated and what's that formula that we use?
You'd have to hit me with a tough question up front. Geez, look at that. It's actually a formula that was developed through I think it's the American Association of Animal Hospitals. There are a number of different resources that calculate population and land size and then determine the number of community cats for that area.
That's very interesting. And I think the major issue is that they repopulate at a very fast pace, especially in South Florida, because we have a warm weather climate almost year round. And that actually is conducive to them repopulating a lot. So talk to us a little bit about their reproductive system. How many times can they get pregnant? How old are they when they start being able to get pregnant?
So little guys like this, Liam, can start reproducing at about 6 months of age. So very young. That's why it's so important to get kittens in while they're young before they can start to reproduce. They can have numerous litters of up to 10 kittens or so.
Wow.
The best thing that anyone can do to help with overpopulation is to bring cats in for TNVR, which is trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return. So healthy cats in your neighborhood or around your workplace, around shopping centers that you frequent. If you see cats and the tip of the left ear is not kind of cut, the point of the ear cut off, that's an indicator that the animal has not been sterilized. And Animal Services will do that for free. We'll administer vaccines, get them vaccinated against rabies, and then take them back to their outdoor home.
And that's where they belong, really, in their colonies with their outdoor colony population, right?
It absolutely is. These community cats, many of them aren't friendly. They're not like Liam here that just wants to be a smuggle bug. They're comfortable being outdoors. They're a little bit fearful of people. They're not the kind of cat that would do well in a home environment. So the best thing you can do for them is have them sterilized, vaccinated, and then return to their outdoor home where they can live a healthy and happy life.
Now, when you say healthy and happy life, when you sterilize them, it also has health benefits for the cats, and it controls behaviors. Tell us a little bit more about how it impacts their behaviors and their health.
So sterilization will help reduce nuisance behaviors like yowling, which many of us have heard all throughout the night.
In the middle of the night.
The mating cats, it will eliminate that issue, and it also helps to reduce roaming. So cats will typically roam. Unfortunately, we see a lot of them hit by cars on the streets. They're roaming, seeking a mate. And when they're sterilized, they tend to stay more in a localized area and tend to roam less. So definitely better for the cats, better for the community.
So I know that there are, at least in my neighborhood, when I walk my dogs, I often see like food being left out, and there's our community feeders, as we affectionately call them, and they care for these cats and they try and help them in their colonies. Is there a proper way to feed community cats if you're interested in doing that?
Absolutely. If you're going to feed community cats, it's incredibly important that it be done in a responsible manner. And by that, we mean in a manner that doesn't attract or entice wildlife. So the last thing we want to do is have raccoons or possums or other wildlife eating the cat food. So a good rule of thumb is to place just enough food down for the cat to consume in about a 15 to 20-minute period. And if anything's left over after that time, pick it up. And be a good neighbor. So if you are putting it on paper plates or in little dishes, it's fine just to put it directly on the ground. But if you are putting down paper plates or trays, remember to pick those up.
And we actually, the TNVR program, Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return, also allows us to loan traps. So talk to us a little bit about the loaning of the traps and how they use them and what the guidelines are for those.
So we want to make it as easy as possible for the community to participate in the TNVR program. So the department does have traps for loan. Those can be picked up currently at Doral, and very soon we will have those available at the South Dade Community Cat Center as well.
So do our residents get any kind of like training? Let's say if they've never used one before, does the staff like give them the tips or teach them how to use them?
Absolutely. We have great tips online, and we also have a tip sheet that goes over all of the basics that will help to ensure that you'll have a successful trapping initiative.
And I've heard it always say that we want to humanely trap these cats. So what does that mean to treat them humanely while we're doing the TNVR process?
Yeah. So cats are very sensitive. So it's important that we use traps that are safe, that don't have sharp edges. And that's why we encourage people, if you don't have a trap of your own, to come to the department to get a trap. These are humane traps. They can safely confine the cat. To be humane, you would want to have the trap covered. It's very frightening to be inside a trap. If you can imagine being a cat, suddenly you're trapped. It's good to have that trap covered to reduce the visual stimulation and just help them be calm. It's not uncommon for cats to run into the end of the trap trying to escape. So we want to make it as calm as possible. And that's all covered in the tip sheets for the public.
Okay. And how long do they have these traps for? Is there a time limit by when they have to return them to Animal Services?
Yeah. So in order to have traps available for as many members of the community as possible, we do ask that they are returned within 7 to 10 days. And that way, if you haven't been successful in trapping, that trap will be available for someone else.
So if I'm trying to trap a cat, I've got a couple of them that go under my car when it's raining, and you get worried about them being out there, etc. And they're not ear tipped. So if I wanted to trap those cats, can I just leave the trap in front of my home, come back 3 or 4 days later and get them?
Absolutely not. The best way to trap would be to monitor that trap at all times that you have it out. If the cats tend to frequent your property during the evening, it's okay to place the trap in the evening, but make sure that you're checking that trap every few hours. You wouldn't want the cat to be confined any longer than necessary.
So that's part of the humanely trapping them, right?
Absolutely.
What if the cat is like, freaking out in the cage while I'm trying to transport them, or when I go to get them? Is there anything that I can do to help calm them down?
The best way to calm them down would be to cover the trap. So the less they see happening outside the trap, the better. So just a simple sheet or towel would be ideal. That would be the best way to humanely transport them.
So I've trapped my cat. You've trapped your cat. You take it to one of our locations that provides the surgeries and the vaccines. What's that process like? Like, when do I have to take them in? Is there a specific time frame that I have to go in and drop them off, or is it like any time during the day? And they have to be returned. So how does the return part
So
work?
trapped cats can be dropped off at any time from the time we open right up until the time we close. We like to have the surgeries done within 24 hours of the time the cat is presented. And then you have the option of either picking the cat up from Animal Services, or we can deliver the cat back to the location it was found.
And I would give you,
Where are you
I as the
going?
trapper or the resident would give you that information so that you could return the cat. But they are
Absolutely.
returned. Like part of it is that they must be returned back to their colonies, their
Absolutely.
homes.
They wouldn't be introduced into a new colony or placed in an area where they're not familiar with their surroundings. They go right back to where they came from. If they're presented to us healthy and happy, then there's no reason to expect that following sterilization, it wouldn't be the same for them. So right back to their outdoor home.
Excellent. And what about some of, like, I sometimes hear people say, well, why don't you just pick them all up? I don't want them in my neighborhood. Take them to another neighborhood, just rehome them. Does that work?
Absolutely not. So trapping cats and either having them euthanized or having them taken to another location first is against the law. You can't relocate an animal without allowing for a period of time for adjustment. And that's simply not possible when you're just taking a cat somewhere and dropping it off. So
He's just too cute.
he is, and he distracted me. He's purring so much. I forgot the second part of the question.
Does it work? Why doesn't it work?
It doesn't. Yes. Okay. So it doesn't work. There's a phenomenon known as the vacuum effect. So cats will only frequent an area if there are sufficient resources. So food, water, shelter. So if you simply trap cats and have them removed, new cats are going to move in and utilize those available resources. So by doing the TNVR program, by having them sterilized and vaccinated and returned, they fill that gap and prevent new cats from moving in. So the best way to stabilize the population and reduce it over time is through TNVR.
So you heard it here. If you move the cats to another neighborhood, you're just going to get new cats coming into your neighborhood to use the resources that are available in your neighborhood. So rehoming does not work, and it is not successful, has not proven to be successful at all in rehoming cats, right?
It definitely does create a vacuum, and you're simply, you're kind of defeating the purpose, because if the purpose is to eliminate the cats, and you're removing them, new ones are moving in. So you're basically inviting new cats into the neighborhood. Who wouldn't want Liam in their neighborhood, really?
So Miami-Dade County Animal Services actually has some dedicated resources to this particular program. And we actually have a little video that we are going to show about the launch of the Pets Thrive in 305 or Cats Thrive in 305 Community Cat Center, right? Let's see that video.
Pets Thrive in 305 Community Cat Center is officially open for business. Any resident is welcome to bring in Miami-Dade County community cats for services. The goal of our Community Cat Center is to offer free trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return, or TNVR services to our community cat population. The free TNVR program is an industry-leading best practice and considered to be the most effective and humane way to stabilize the free-roaming cat population. By humanely managing our community cats, we keep them healthy and allow them to live in their natural habitat with their colonies by returning them to their feline families. The Pets Thrive 305 Community Cat Center is open 5 days a week from Tuesday through Saturday on a walk-in basis. No appointment needed. Drop-offs can be done Tuesday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and pickups will happen the day following your drop-off from 3 to 4:30 p.m. For more information about the center and additional details regarding TNVR services, please visit animals.miamidade.gov or call 311.
Hi, welcome to America's
Pets Thrive in 305 Community Cat Center is
Got Talent. What's your name?
Emily Bland.
Director.
Where are you from, Emily?
Mr. Director.
And
Hey,
You can
it
call me
happens.
Emily, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It happens. So
It
the
does.
Community Cat Center, is that the same facility that the Humane Society used to manage over at the South Dade Government Center?
It is indeed.
And so Animal Services has taken over that. Talk to us a little bit about that decision and how that came about.
But Humane Society of Greater Miami has, I'm not singing, the Humane Society of Greater Miami has been an incredible partner with Miami-Dade Animal Services for years. They opted not to renew the terms of their lease at the location in South Dade.
Okay.
So Animal Services renovated the trailer and made it into a community cat clinic. So the only animals served out of the clinic are community cats, which is great. Cats are stressed by dogs. It's wonderful to have a clinic that is solely devoted to caring for community cats and providing TNVR services.
So you guys saw the need, it was still there, and wanted to make sure that the community was being served, and you took over the actual operations of that facility when the Humane Society. Well, thank you to the Humane Society for always being such a great partner, but glad that we're still able to offer that service to the community. And who is it that brings, there's residents, but is there any other groups that bring cats into that facility?
There are. So any resident of Miami-Dade County is welcome to bring cats to the Community Cat Center for TNVR. We also work with a wonderful group of volunteers. They are our Caddy volunteers.
Caddy.
So the Community Action Targeted Trapping Initiative, these wonderful volunteers devote so much of their time to trapping community cats and bringing them in large numbers. So they'll concentrate on different areas. If we receive a number of concerns in a particular area, we can refer that information over to our volunteer trappers, and they'll conduct the trapping in those areas. So they're a tremendous help. There are far more cats, the 300 to 400,000 that you had mentioned, far more cats than we have trappers. So we need as many people as possible to come on board and help us take care of our community's cats.
That's great. And so they kind of devote some of their free time to being able to help some of the community cats get healthy and sterilized, and their vaccines and everything. That's amazing. And what resources, like how much does it cost to join that group? Are there resources that are provided to them? How would you join that group?
There is no fee to join the group. Our Caddy trappers are provided with an identification badge that identifies them as community cat, caretakers or feeders or liaisons that are working for our community's cats. They're provided with a T-shirt and traps and transfer cages, everything they would need in order to partner with the county and be a part of this amazing program.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And are they provided with do you have any incentive programs for them at all that the county runs? Tip the Trapper, for example?
Yes, indeed. Tip the Trapper is an incentive program that our high volume Caddy trappers are eligible to receive $15 per cat as long as they're presented to either the Doral Clinic or the South Dade Community Cat Center.
And I understand that you have to actually have been with the program and trap a certain number of cats before you're eligible for that incentive program. Is that correct?
Once you reach power trapper level, then you're
I
eligible
like
for
that
that
power trapper level.
You're eligible for that stipend. And trapping is addictive. Once you start, it is hard to stop.
And I'm sure
such a
right
great
now
thing.
with like the cost of gas and everything and transporting and driving around, that certainly it may be $15, but I'm sure that helps them also in buying the snacks and the food that they need to be able to trap the cats, et cetera. So a small appreciation from
Indeed.
the department for helping us with that initiative. That's excellent. And we do have some Caddy volunteers, actually some of our award winners
Yes.
from this previous year that had a couple of things to say about actually this is a video that we did to honor their awards. So why don't we go ahead and play that video, Mr. Director?
Today we celebrate the great efforts put forth by our outstanding Caddy volunteers who work throughout our community to humanely manage the cat population through our Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, and Return program. We recognize them during National Volunteer Week with an award. Here are the 2019-2020 winners. Thank you for your contributions to Miami-Dade Animal Services.
My name is Deilu Rincon. I'm a proud Caddy TNR volunteer.
My name is Alba Rosa Raudales. I have 7 years of catting.
My name is Lisa Castillo, and I am a registered trapper with Miami-Dade Animal Services.
My name is Rosa Haupt. I've been a Caddy trapper for, I would say, a good 3 to 4 years.
I love, of course, helping the cats. That's what we do for love. And to also educate our community.
We have a lot of cats that are free roaming, and spaying and neutering is the only way to help control the population.
We trap cats in the community to help them make their lives better. And
every cat counts, so even if you don't trap high level, it's really important to get involved.
Oh, I will be more than happy for people to join us. We need more hands at work. We are always willing and welcoming people.
I love that I've been able to meet a lot of like-minded individuals and be able to impact the community in a positive way.
The Caddy community has grown significantly lately. We have a lot of members that have joined, and it's really good because we help each other. We work on groups. The accessibility to the shelter is great.
So always great to be able to give a little bit of recognition to some of the folks that are out there actually in the field, on the ground, doing some of the work. And as you can see, it's a labor of love, right? So they do this because they really want that sound, man. It's really, it really, they really do this as a labor of love, and they want to help the community cats. So, and I want one of those shirts. I think that I don't have one of those shirts.
The Caddy shirts.
The Caddy shirt. It's really cute. So if you guys want a Caddy shirt, you got to become a Caddy member, and go out there and help us trap these community cats. So that brings us to our kittens, and we always tell people, don't kidnap the kittens. You want to make sure that, you leave them with mom because mom knows best. She really gives them the best chance of thriving in the community. But every once in a while, after you've, observed for 24 hours, they tell you to observe for 24 hours if you find kittens to make sure that mom doesn't come back. And if mom doesn't come back, then you need to intervene to be able to help those kittens. And we have a special program for kittens that come into the shelter for people who want to help them out, bottle feeding, et cetera. Tell us, it's called Kitten Cuddlers, right? So tell us a little bit about the Kitten Cuddler program.
So again, what Flora said is so important. Moms don't abandon their babies, not cat moms. They're some of the best moms in the world. So oftentimes when you see a litter of kittens and you don't see mom around, it's just that she's simply gone to find some food for herself. So the best thing you can do is put down some food for her so she doesn't have to wander off and leave the kittens unattended in order to be able to eat. If you have observed the kittens for 24 hours or so and haven't seen mom come back, there is the possibility that she may have been harmed. Unfortunately, some of our community cats, they're hit by cars or other things happen. And if you see that she hasn't returned, then the best thing to do for the kittens would be to, whoops, he's stuck. The best thing to do for the kittens would be to provide care for them in their mother's absence. So we will provide you with bottles and formula and the heating pads, everything you'll need to be a caretaker for the kittens, to step in for mom until they are old enough to enter our adoption program.
And so when you're a kitten cuddler, you kind of have to help them not only feed, but they also need help stimulating their bowel movements, controlling their body temperature. So you get like a heating pad with that, blankets, etc. So really great program. And if somebody's interested in becoming a kitten cuddler, what should they do?
They should
send an email.
They should. And that email is
asdfoster@miamidade.gov.
It is. We have a great foster coordinator. She's amazing. Taking care of kittens is one of the most rewarding things you can do. I don't even need to tell you, they're so adorable. But yeah, they'll provide the training on the bottle feeding and assisting them with eliminating, keeping them warm, all the important things that you can do until they're old enough to enter our adoption program.
So you mentioned adoption programs and kittens, and I think there's a new program that the director just recently announced. If we can play that announcement, she'll tell us all about the new kitten deferral program.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bronwyn Stanford, the director at Miami-Dade Animal Services, and I want you to meet Liam and Logan. And they're very special little kittens because they are the first two kittens to go through our kitten deferral program. What this means is that when individuals bring kittens in for TNVR services, we actually have now a team that will identify certain kittens that meet the criteria And then they will be vaccinated, spayed, neutered, and actually put into foster care for 2 weeks and then on our adoption floors. So instead of going back to the streets, they will be going into a loving home. Hi, everybody.
What has been your...
My name is Bronwyn Stanford.
It helps our
Career
cats
path,
to
so-
not be on the streets anymore, right? So it's working towards helping that community cat population. Also gives them loving homes. So we go back to Liam and Logan. So that's Liam. This is Logan. They're the first cats to go through the TNVR cat deferral program. And they're actually going to get their surgeries tomorrow and are going to be available for adoption, preferably in a home where they can go together, because kittens are always better in pairs.
Absolutely.
They entertain each other.
It's
and
double
they-
the loving.
Double the love.
It is.
They entertain each other, and you don't have to feel guilty about going to work because they're going to play with each other. And then those are the cats and the population that then becomes available for adoption at the shelter, right?
That's correct. So the policy of the shelter is to perform TNVR on community cats. So kittens that are presented for the TNVR program, these aren't cats that you can bring to the shelter to surrender. So you would present them through the TNVR program, and our veterinarians would make the determination if they meet the criteria, the 2 months or younger, under 2 pounds, social, friendly, highly adoptable. Those are the cats that would be pulled and entered into the adoption program.
Those are the ones that would do well and be ideal to go into a home.
Absolutely. We want to reduce the number of community cats we have on the street. And when we have the opportunity to find a home, a loving home for a socialized, adoptable kitten, that's what we want to do. So Kittens Rock. So we are rehoming our community's kittens through this program, the Kittens Rock program. So definitely, yes, we'll have kittens for adoption. That's one of the things that we're usually short on in Doral at the Pet Adoption and Protection Center. You don't see too many kittens, and that's because a lot of them had been going through the TNVR program. So we're really making an effort now to make sure that we do have the adorable guys like this available for adoption.
And speaking of adoptions, we also have a large population of dogs that are at the shelter, actually lots of dogs and cats. I've read in the news lately that there's an overpopulation or a crowding problem or challenge at the department. Talk to us a little bit about that, and what can the community do to help in this situation?
Yeah, so Miami-Dade Animal Services, along with every other shelter in the country, is struggling right now with an overpopulation of dogs in our shelter. So this isn't something unique to Miami-Dade. This is something that is happening across the country. Typically during the summer months, we do see higher intake. There's nothing unusual about that. And we've taken steps. We've taken steps to address that. We have a managed admissions program, which has actually been in place since December of 2021.
Right.
So this program allows for shelter space to be reserved for animals that are truly in need. So victims of cruelty or neglect, or animals that are injured, we're reserving that critical shelter space for those animals that are most in need of our help. So we're asking owners that for any reason need to rehome their pet to do that on their own. The shelter is the last place that you should think of when you're trying to rehome your pet. You know your pet better than anyone, what they like, what they don't like. You're more suited to find a home similar to yours, to someone that can care for the dog much the same way you have. A shelter, that's not the purpose that the shelter serves.
And
So
as
we-
much care and as much love
Yeah.
and feeding and walkings that you do and everything, it's still not the same as being in a
It's
home.
not. And there are a number of resources. We do offer pet retention and resources to owners to help them rehome their pets on their own. So we have a number of different websites, a number of different programs that can assist with that.
What about people who find strays in the community? What are we asking them to do?
Strays. Oh my gosh. Don't think stray, think lost. We do not have a population of homeless strays wandering the streets, to the tune of 15 or 16,000 dogs a year that come into the shelter. These are people's pets for the most part. So think lost, not stray. Studies have shown that dogs that are returned to their owners, 70% of the time, were within 1 mile of their home.
Wow.
So the worst thing you can do for a dog is take it to the shelter. People don't typically come to the shelter to look for their pet. They look around their neighborhood. They think, oh no, Brownie got out, and walk around the neighborhood looking for him. And if he's been displaced and entered into the shelter, days pass and they think, oh, maybe someone found him. Maybe something happened to him. They just don't think to come to the shelter. So really the best thing you can do for a pet, if you find it in your neighborhood, is walk it around. Chances are someone within a 2 to 3 block radius is going to know whose pet that is. That's the best way to help a lost pet find its way home.
Excellent. And the traditional mediums, flyers, putting them on different apps like Ring and Nextdoor and Petco Love Lost, right?
Yes.
So just taking the picture. Also, you'd be surprised how many people actually find their pets just browsing through Facebook or Instagram, right? Like it's amazing, and that's really the best thing that you can do to help them be reunified with their family that is probably frantically looking for their lost pet.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And then we also tell everybody that they can foster as well. Any one of our dogs or adult cats. What population is most in need of being fostered right now?
Dogs are definitely most in need. We always have a need for fosters that are willing to have cats as well. But fostering is a great way. I'm actually fostering 2 puppies right now. I forgot how much work that was. But fostering is a great way to get an animal out of the shelter, provide it with care in a home setting. It's such a relief for the animals, and it frees cage space at the shelter. We have a limited number of kennels, and anytime we can free up any of that cage space is a good thing. And it's so good for the animals too. You can't. We have amazing employees that provide incredible care to the pets in the shelter, but you can't replicate a home setting for an animal in a shelter. So just having a home setting, even if it's just a week or maybe 2 weeks, it's a really, really great thing to do for a shelter pet if you're not ready to commit to adopting.
So fostering helps saves lives, basically.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. And are you still accepting volunteers to come into the shelter as well? Is that an other need that is also available?
Absolutely. We love our volunteers, our Caddy volunteers, our volunteers in the shelter. They do incredible work. They provide enrichment. They walk dogs. They make toys for the cats. They do so many wonderful things that really do enrich the lives of the shelter pets.
So community residents, you heard it here. If you are interested in helping our community cats and humanely managing the cat population, please reach out to 311 or visit our website for additional information, animals.miamidade.gov. Or you can foster or volunteer and join the life-saving mission at Miami-Dade County Animal Services. We will see you in 2 weeks right here, back again, to talk about some of the other life-saving initiatives, innovative programs that have been implemented at Miami-Dade County Animal Services, who is always here to serve our pet owners and our community's pets. We'll see you next time.